going on, everyone? Welcome back to Off the Court. Today, Pat and I have a guest that's honestly won at every level that you can imagine as an Armenian basketball player. And to me, arguably the most decorated Armenian basketball player that I've seen. And I think Pat would probably agree in some ways.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So without wasting any more time, I'm really glad to bring on Zareh Zargaryan, Little Z. Z, welcome to the show,
Thanks
man.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Of course, dude. How you doing?
Good,
Everything
man.
good?
Good. Just hanging in there.
Chilling?
Nice.
Working, living.
I know,
That's
man. I want to jump right in, man.
Let's do it.
Obviously, your name has a lot to do with who you are, right? Little Z, your nickname. So I want to talk about that a little bit because some people might be hearing it and saying, why do we call him Little Z? This guy's 6'6". But give us a little bit of a background on that nickname and how you got it.
Little Z came the second I joined A1. No one had ever called me Little Z. So once I got to A1, obviously Zareh was there, Big Z, Zareh Zargaryan, and then so they just had to put a difference between.
Yeah.
So when the first time I'll meet people and I'll meet their friends and they'll be like, "Oh, Little Z's coming." They'll be like, "There's another Z."
Yeah.
And then I'll show up and they'll be like, "What's so little about this guy?" They're the same height, same deal. So pretty much that was it, man. Because of Z, I ended up being Little Z.
And he becomes Big Z. And, that's a big topic that we wanted to kind of dive into a little bit. You obviously joined A1 at an early age.
Yeah,
and
18.
Jumping in with guys that have kids, some of them.
They were vets, man.
They were tough. I mean, they were a physical team. So right when I started practicing with them, it was a killer. Martin Ovanesian, Anthony K was playing with us. Greg. I went to the first practice. I'm like, damn, bro, like
tough.
Ease up, bro. It's a Monday night. I still have college basketball. Like I'm going through the lane. They're popping me, but it definitely made me stronger and tougher. That's for sure.
One thing I wanted to ask you was going from an 18-year-old that pretty much dominated your division and you were obviously the best player on your team, making that jump to go and play with an older group. What was that like? Because I know we talk about this a lot. Nowadays, kids don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They don't want to make that jump to go from their team in their comfort zone.
Yeah.
What made you feel like, hey, you know what? I can do this.
Well, I mean, growing up, all you do is you sit there until 12 o'clock to watch the championship game. You're like, damn, I want to be in this game. Back then, I watch Ararat, LA, Arne, Kobalyan, these guys playing. I'm like, damn, bro, I could kill these guys.
Yeah.
That was the mentality I was building,
Yeah.
And then when the opportunity presented itself, I was like, there's no way I'm passing up. And then the kids I grew up with, all my boys, like they were already, some were going to college, some were starting to stop playing ball, and we weren't getting too competitive. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to leave. It's always tough to leave your friends, but at the same time, it comes to a point where like you care more than them, and it just doesn't work out. I'll eat myself up. I would fight with them, and I'll be like, bro, we're gonna lose our friendship because of ball. Let's not do that. It's better you guys go to college and I play on another team.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. So that was the collapse. The collapse of my kids' team made it a lot easier. I was like full on ready. Then the last number 17 I played before 1A, I was like sitting on their bench too. And they lost to LA. I was sitting there going, man, I should have played with them this year. We would have had one more.
So if that collapse never happened, were you still going to play
If that
with your
collapse
boys?
never happened, it was going to be tough. It was going to be tough because my kids' team was playing Manoah's kids' team. Yeah. And Manoah's team was starting to beat us a lot. So eventually they were going to move up to 1A, and we had to stumble ourselves into 1A. So, yeah, it was going to be tough. I mean, if everyone stayed, like Ray, Mossis, Raz, all those guys, if these guys stayed, then that decision have been very tough.
Manoah's team was good back then, too, man.
Manoah had Shara and Narek and the two Shara. Yeah, they had, and they practiced, man. These guys went hard. They would practice 4 or 5 times a week. They were like a high school program.
I kind of want to talk a little bit about your dynamic with A1 when you got there. Obviously, was it kind of like a shock of what their mentality was and what you wanted?
Nah. It was easy, man. Those guys, we had something in common, and that was something about A1 is I had from day one, and some guys come in, they don't have it, they end up building, is we hate losing more than we like winning. So when I got there, that was my mentality, and that was their mentality. And they had fallen off. They hadn't won in like a few years, and then they were losing to teams they shouldn't be. So No, I mean, they welcomed me. They knew they needed that piece. And then for me, it was like, hey, man, all I ever wanted was to play 1A, play A1, and this is my shot. Let's go, like roll the ball up and let's go.
So when you got there, like your role was established right away. You already knew what you were going to do, and they knew, right?
I didn't know I don't know if they knew, but I knew I was going to come in and be like, yo, Z, man, you're going to share that ball with me, bro, like, and Z, people don't know it, but like Z, one of the reasons why it worked better is because after the first year, Z kind of had like an injury. He had a growth spurt on his foot, so he slowed down a little bit, took some steps back, and that's when like I full on went force. And then when he came back, it was like, yeah, he's proven himself, like he kind of let his guard down too. Because in 2007, when we were going to Armenia, like the first practice, I was 2007, I was 18, yeah. So he came and he was like killing me. Like he was like going at me, and I was like, dude, what's wrong with this guy? Like, what is he doing? And then Fred turned around to him and was like, hey, Z, that's enough. Like I think he got the point. And that's when I realized, like, I'm like, this guy's going to keep coming at me like that. Perfect. It's going to only make me better, So, yeah, it was easy, man. Those guys wanted to win. I wanted to win. We had one thing in common, and that was winning then. Winning solves problems, man. You know how it goes. You lose one and shit gets blown up.
No. Oh, yeah.
We'll jump into a little bit of that in a bit, but I wanted to go back to what you just said, your relationship with Big Z. Obviously, that's how you got your nickname and all that. But now, fast forwarding to today, I don't know how many people out there know, but you guys are brother-in-laws. You both have kids. So give me a little bit of that dynamic now,
so,
being teammates first.
So we were teammates and we became close friends, and Z met his wife. And then I was in college at the time. I was about to finish, and he's like, yo, man, this girl I'm talking to is pretty serious, and he's got a sister. I was like, nah, man, no relationships. He's like, I just hang out with us. So I'll be like, all right, I'll come. I went 1 time, 2 times, and then I got interested, and then he would like set it up in a way where I would pop up somewhere and she was there, and like he like he didn't force it, but he like set it up in a way.
He's good at that stuff.
And then when you tell him nowadays, like, hey Z, he's always good at setting lunch too. His lunch times are the best. Key. But yeah, he always jokes about it now. He's like, I didn't want to go to family events alone. I wanted to have someone there, and I would rather have my boy than anyone else. But yeah, man, he came through. He looked out, and now we're married and kids and all that, and our kids are first cousins, and that's sometimes it hits us when we're hanging out. We're like, damn, bro, it all started at Ararat, Usually how everything starts.
Pat, I know wanted to talk about something
so
that you guys are always referenced to. So
you kind of mentioned winning was really important for that squad, which is fine. But other teams kind of perceived you guys as a bad guy.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put it that way. I don't want to
cool.
I
love it.
But yeah, that was actually what I was going to say. Do you take that stuff personal, or it's more of like you're accepting of the role that you guys got on the team?
Whenever you're winning, no one likes you. That's just how it is. Only your fans like you, your people that know you off the court like you. But I mean, if I was sitting there in the stands and watching a team beat up on my boys year in and year out, I mean, I kind of hate it too.
Yeah, you
labeled in the bad guy, because at the end of the day, we're not nice on the court. We bring it at you. We're boys. We hang out, but on the court, like, I'll say stuff that you'll be like, damn, I can't believe he said that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that KG thing, like, it is what it is, though. You're trying to win, but the bad guy role, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I mean, if anything, it makes it better, because now they're intimidated, because they're coming with this guy's a bad guy. I'm going to hear it from him. I better not mess up, because he's going to call me out. He's going to stand out on it. And I'm talking about the other teams.
Yeah.
So the bad guy mentality, man, took it in, loved it. Now, the funny thing is, some guys from Homeland that I work with nowadays, they're like, dude, we couldn't stand you. We couldn't stand you. Now that we work together, we're off the court. They're like, bro, like, how are you that guy? I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to win games.
Yeah,
bro.
they don't.
I think that's
I'm trying to get more banners up there. That's all I'm trying to do.
I think that's probably the biggest problem. A lot of guys can't differentiate, on the court and off the court.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I probably struggled with it in the beginning too. Like, I would take it off the court, but now as you get older, more mature as a basketball player, and more understanding that what home element brings, it's not only winning. There's like sportsmanship that actually does come into play.
Yeah.
As you get older, like, you let that stuff go. But when we were young, man, there was grudges, man. There was shit talking that would literally go off the court. But which is fine.
So I kind of want to reference what you just said. You're trash talking, letting these guys hear it. Where'd that come from?
I just, I don't know. I mean, watching guys like Kobe, Gary Payton, Jordan, like these guys, like you hear stories how like they're dicks. These guys are they're dicks, dude, and that's why they're different. Like these guys come at you in every way. They don't just defend you. They don't lock you up. They mentally, there's another side in the game that they come at. So for me, it was like, luckily I was good enough to talk. I mean, if I was a bad player, I wouldn't say anything, but I took the advantage, and I would take that advantage with the referees too. Like I would know, like in the big game, this guy's not going to give me the 2 T's.
You got away with a lot of shit, man.
You got to play the game within the game. So I knew even with the referees, like I got 1 T. It's Norwich Session Finals. He's not going to want to do that because not only am I going to go off on him, the whole bench, the whole crowd, like he's going to hear it for months. Even he might not even be at the next Norwich Session Finals.
But I don't even get like where you like. It's not like you pick your friends to trash talk. Like you have a range, bro. Like in Armenia against Sochi, some dude can't even speak English, and you're trash talking this guy.
It is what it is.
What's going on?
It is what it is. I mean, it's just the
time and place, man.
Like that pitbull mentality when you step in that court. It gets me going too. Sometimes like I'll be at a game, especially nowadays with the young guys. Like it's tough, strolling in after a long day of work with the kid and stuff. Now you're like playing, and then this kid comes and he hits you. And like, he looks at you, and is like, this guy, wait, come here real quick. Like sometimes other guys get you going. Off the smallest thing.
Yeah,
and you use that as an excuse.
I want to talk about your style of leadership a little bit, because you just talked about how you grew up watching Kobe, MJ, and all those guys, right? So, I mean, we could be straight up about it. It's a style that doesn't work with a lot of different people, right?
Yeah,
like you guys are harsh, straight up, right?
Yeah.
So where, where do you draw your mentality and how to lead, and when do you feel like it goes overboard, and how do you kind of control that?
Yeah, well, my way is, I mean, I'm hard. I'm like, I'm mean about it, and that's because I care. Like I've had teammates where I haven't said shit to them because I've already like realized like this guy's, no matter what you do, he's not going to respond. So like guys like Teo, even with you, when you were on our team, like sometimes at Drew, I feel like sometimes I'll be like, damn, am I a little too hard? I'm like, but if they can't overcome this, my way of leading is, if you can't overcome me, I feel like I'm the softest one. What are you going to do with our opponents if they come at you, you know? So like my thing was, no one can come at me, so no one can come at you. So if I'm coming at you and you're taking it, then you'll be able to take it anywhere else, So I wasn't that guy uplifting, but my thing was like, let's go now. If you can't do it, get the hell out of here, like, and then you within yourself will fight. And that's what happened with Teo. I mean, Teo had thick skin. Teo came in as a kid, and we told him right away, like, you got to earn it. And in the beginning, I was so hard on him, and look at him now. Like I sit there sometimes, I'm like, damn, all that shit talking didn't go to waste.
And now he's gonna pass it on to the next group.
That's how it is. And he's like that too. He's pretty hot too himself.
Yeah. I want to jump into Zargaryan Games. Okay. So I think a lot of people forget, man, that you're only 32, 33?
Yeah, 32.
32. It's crazy. 32. You've been through so many Zargaryan championships and games, right? Like, how we always say LeBron has a bunch of miles on his body.
Yeah.
You've been through a lot, man. Let's talk a little bit about your matchups. More recently against Sean Mossies. Kind of go back to those championships and give me a little bit of a breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about it. 32, I started at 18, so like 14 years upper A almost.
Yeah.
Like that's that.
And going all the way to July 4th every time.
Yeah, every time. Just one time. God, Mike got us that one time in the semifinals. But coming in, the defending champions were LA. So I always had a fun relationship with Sako. We've always been close, and I always told him, "It's it for you guys. Like, I'm coming in." And the way they beat them the year before, so they were like kind of like the team out on the way out. So when we played them, it was a blowout. So we kind of got them out of the way, and then Sean came into play. And these guys were big, man. These guys were They were strong. They all played together since high school, so they've all had this like chemistry. And the best thing that played against them was that there was no shot clock when I first joined Upper A. Because there was no shot clock, games were always close. It wouldn't flow. So that way they would they would kind of play defense on offense. They would move the ball and waste clock, and games will finish in the 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it was those guys. Those guys were a grind. They were a grind. And then Mike came along. And one of the things is I kept telling Mike, like, we were friends before Homeland, man.
Okay.
We worked out together and all that. And thing got us going. Carl got us going with the national team when we were young. We were like in 09. I was in Armenia. He's like, stay back and play with him. I was like, all right, I'll stay. And then from 09 we started. I'm like, bro, come play Homeland, man. Like, don't even come to our team because like we're already stacked. Go somewhere, play Homeland. It'll be fun. Freaking guy comes, beats us twice in the final. I'm like, bro, how does this happen? Like, man, we beat them a lot, but the games we've lost to Mike have always been that championship game. Twice in the championship, once in the semis.
Yeah,
that hurt us. But yeah, man, going back to that Sean team, bro, those guys were, dude, they would hit. It was like a fight. It was ugly basketball, which I'm happy kind of. I mean, the worst thing Homeland man could have done for everyone else is put the shot clock in against us. You know, because
it does help.
It helps.
Shot clock gives the better players an advantage.
It's the best thing because you can't keep the ball out of their hands, and it flows. You got to get a shot off. You know, now you got to score in the 50s, 60s to have a chance. Mm-hmm. But those guys still found a way even when the shot clock came into play.
Yeah.
And then, but like I said, man, this is 14 years I've been playing Upper A. Every year I felt like we were the best team. Just that one year where Mike had Chris and Minos and those guys. Man, if those guys stuck together, it would have been nice battles going on.
So at what point did you see like the game was kind of changing from more of like physical play where it was like big dudes and now it's just like these fast guards? And going,
it was like probably like 2012, 13. Mm-hmm. That's when everything was shifting. Everyone was starting to launch threes. Curry was coming into play. All these guys. And then the shot clock is what
changed things
helped us. I'm telling you, man, it was 30. Now it's 24.
Yeah.
Now it's bad. That was bad for me and Z.
This 24-second one sucks,
go,
man.
We got to go up and down. And then if you get 5 guys in the game to show up nowadays, it's horrible. But yeah, man, Mike kind of changed the shooting. Mike kind of got everyone to go with the outside. So when he came there, like, then we got to match up with his offense. So that's when everyone started launching, and even Sean got younger, and everyone's trying to get younger. And us over the years, you know, we've been picking. We haven't really been picking. Everyone says we pick, but people want to come and play with us. Like, you want to come play with us. Yeah. Teo want to come play with us. Dre, like, people always go, man, you guys go get the best. No, we don't. We don't do that. They just want to come play. You know, they come to our practices and they see how competitive it is. Our practices are tougher than any game. And in our Sergeant final, bro, you see how we eat each other up. So they come, they see, they want to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's about winning.
That's all it is, and competing. You know, you get 2 days off. You want to go somewhere and get better.
Well, another thing is you guys practice. Like some of these other squads, you know, the commitment was always a problem.
Yeah, gym time for them. So we're blessed to have what we have. Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's jump back in to high school and college a little bit, and then I want to get your stories about any pro chances that you had. High school was kind of the first time I think a lot of people probably saw you play because the games were on TV, and it was kind of cool. You know, you would wake up, whatever, Saturday morning or whatever it was, you guys would be playing on there.
That was the best. They kept replaying that CV game.
replaying
that CV blowout.
So to that time, what offers did you get coming out of high school? Because we heard a few stories, you know, Arizona, I heard when I was younger. How many of those were true?
For me, high school was, the first 2 years was quiet. Nothing. No one there, nothing. Just putting up numbers. No one step into that Hoover gym. And then my junior year, I was dying sick. I was wearing Alhambra. I was dying sick. I couldn't even stand. My mom comes to the game and she gave me I don't know what she gave me to have some energy. I popped the pill. I go to the game, start killing the game. I had walked out with a 30, 10, and 10. This one guy, I guess he was in the stands. He was a trainer. He turned around and he told my mom, hey, is that your son? She's like, yeah. It's like, here's my number. Have him call me. So my mom made nothing out of it. After the game, she's like, hey, this guy just gave me the number. Give it to Coach Gillis and let him contact him, see what he wants. So we call him and he's like, "Oh, I'm a AAU trainer. You know, does he play AAU?" We're like, "No, what's AAU?"
Yeah.
You know, everything happened really late. Like, so I go to this place in downtown. It's like a homeless center. They have like a basketball court on the second floor. So I go there, and then the guy goes, "You're gonna work out with these guys." And then I don't know if you guys know Jonathan Gibson.
No.
He played New Mexico. He played for Boston. This guy Jefferson, he played with OJ Mayo.
Okay.
And this guy Jeremy Haskell, who is the leading scorer at Seton Hall now. So these guys are like top 5, 4-star, 5-star nation ranked players. Start working out, and workout finishes. And the guy turns around and goes, "I don't have a spot for you, but I got a guy in Orange County." I'm like, "Dude, Orange County." He's like, "Try it out." So we go to Orange County. My dad takes me to Orange County, start trying out, and then next thing you know, the coach's name is Bob Gottlieb. And Bob Gottlieb is like big time in AAU. He knows like we would walk into anywhere in Vegas and Coach K, Roy Williams, Ben Hound, they'll come like personal level with Bob. Like, "Hey, Bob, how are you?" His son Doug Gottlieb's, and he was an ESPN guy now with Fox. So like they've been in the game. And then there was this kid on my team, and he was like a quiet kid, but he was a killer. We would go on tournaments, and the next thing you know, like this kid's name is Klay Thompson. I'm like, dude.
Oh, shit.
Well, he was Klay. What Klay is now is what he was back then. And he was killing it. So because of Klay, because of like a couple guys like Cole Aldridge was the number 2 center, and I started getting looks because these big time schools were coming, and I was producing. I was in the rotation, top 5 with them. And then out of nowhere, like USC, Miami, like ACC, Pac-12, Washington State, Washington. Yeah. Like letters are coming in, and like my coach comes up to me like, "Dude, there's some serious recruiting starting. Like, your grades are horrible. We got to pick this up." I'm like, "Dude, like, what do you mean? Like, what is happening?" Everything happened so fast. You know, I'm thinking like I'm a kid. I'm gonna go to school. I just get by school. You know, go to college.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking like next day like letters coming, and so. By the time we try to speed it up, I had to go either like prep school or junior college route. So that's how high school was, man. High school was fun. High school was easy.
Was that something that you kind of think about a lot? Like you could have,
of course.
Or you don't really think about it anymore.
Not anymore. Now that luckily, you know, we're moving on and we have our own work. We're living, doing what we want to do, but.
Those days.
You always want to be a ball player making money, you know. Who doesn't want to have their job title as an NBA or pro overseas basketball player, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it was tough. It was a tough pill to swallow, but it was a big learning process.
I feel you.
It's funny, man. When we were in the AABA basketball league, we were doing the announcing when you guys were playing. We talked to Diran Ohani, right? That was his name. He was an agent.
Yeah.
And he said he was talking about a story, how he brought you on with Zareh and a few of these other guys.
Yeah.
And he was telling us if it was anyone that was going to make it at the highest level, it was going to be you.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't seen somebody that was like 6'6", guard handle strong.
Well, Diran was best friends with Jalizian. And Jalizian was working out the NBA guys that Diran had at Hoover. So I was like their dummy defense. I'll be the guard that comes off the dribble, pass, shoot, let them rebound. So one time he had this big 7'3" guy from China, Diran, and he had an NBA workout at GCC. So he's like, "You got to come be the guard." And the other guy was, I think, Channing Frye or someone. It was something Frye from UCLA. He was a lefty. He played in Love's years. Anyways, so these two are going at it, and I'm the guard. And like Milwaukee Bucks, Portland Trail Blazers, Sacramento Kings, they're all sitting there. So I'm coming off. I'm like, they want shooting drills where I miss. I'm coming off. I'm like, dude, I'm not missing, bro. I'm coming off hitting shots. Like shots I haven't even hit. I'm like, damn, bro, today's a good day, you know? Good day. I'm going off this, that. And after the workout, the guy comes I think it was the Milwaukee Bucks or the Portland Trail Blazers. They come up to Diran. They're like, "Hey, Diran, you know, your big guy from China, you know, he's a little stiff, man, but who's that guy coming off the screens hitting the shots?" Dude, I was like, "Man, don't mess with him. Don't get his head big, man. He's only in high school, you know?" So Diran, I used to work out with them at AGBU. I would go run with Toros, Jalak, and all these guys.
Yeah.
But they were already old. They were already on like They were just doing it to get away from the fam playing. And I was like this young kid that came and they were tough on me too, man. Like I would make a mistake. Toros would go off on me. I'm like, dude, I'll turn around to Julian and I'll be like, what is this guy doing? He's like, he's like that. He's like that.
Heard,
just leave him alone.
We heard stories from Rex about it.
But yeah, man. I mean, there was opportunities. Yeah. There was opportunities, but like it's just weird, man. It's so hard. It's so hard with those guys. Like the people you know, the things you know, like things you have to do. It's so much. It's more than just being a good basketball player.
Yeah,
you know, there's so much character test to go through.
I mean, I see videos all the time of like kids working out, shooting, working out every single day. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man,
you got to bring that to the game.
You got to like, it's like a whole other.
We're seeing like Gary train. We're seeing Gabby and Armand Pez. These guys train. Like, do you think if you train like that, it would have been made any difference?
They definitely have a better work ethic than me. Man. I was the guy that just wanted to hang out with the boys. And then when it was time to play ball, let's go, you know?
Is that something that you think about?
Yeah, of course. That work ethic. If I had like one guy just push me with it, it would have been a lot better, bro. Yeah, definitely.
Let's jump into a pretty big topic in the last few years, the Armenian national team, right? It's been growing like crazy as of late.
Yeah.
But I want to take it back to that first one that you were talking about where you kind of met Mike.
Yeah.
And I think the second time around where you guys tried to officially make a team with you, Narb, Dre,
I mean, we were there. We were almost there.
Yeah. So talk about that time. I know Dre wasn't a part of that first one, but
Dre was a baby. He was like, what, 14, 15, right?
This is 2013.
13,
this
12.
This was like Shara, Narb,
Shara, Garan. So what happened with that is, man, it was just straight up Carl's idea. You know, Carl Bardakian from AGBU. It was his idea of just building a national team and starting something for Armenia. So everything that's like happening now, like it all kind of came from Carl. You know, you don't really see him involved in it because he kind of got discouraged of all the way they treated him. But everything kind of started with Carl. Like we were in Armenia and he saw me and Mike go at it. We didn't even have one practice together and we ended up second place against Sochi. And we didn't really have a team. It was like just like roll the ball out and let's go. So like Carl realized like there's something here, you know, like these two work together. And I'm the type of guy, like I mean, I love being all around. So it was easy with Mike. You know, Mike's a scorer, let him do his thing and I'll feed him, I'll rebound, I'll get everyone else involved. So it kind of clicked. It was really easy playing with one another. So Carl saw that and he's like, dude, we have an opportunity here. There's good kids, let's put it around them. The only thing that stopped them was the Russians, the Sochi team, and then the Moscow team. That they had a couple young guys, and they wanted to kind of get those guys involved. They were like they were hesitant because like they didn't have anything from them. You know, everyone was from America, so that kind of rubbed off wrong on them. I felt like so, and then what killed it was in 2013. Was it 13 or 11? No, it was 15. 15. When did they win?
Sochi won in 11.
They won in 11. Mike's team won in 11.
Yeah.
So in 11, I was supposed to go with them. The whole plan was
with LA.
We go with LA.
Yeah.
I go with LA. We go with LA. We win. We end the topic. We end the conversation. We won against your guys. We're the national team.
Yeah.
Done. But I couldn't turn my back on Ararat.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I mean, like born and raised there, bro. I grew up there. So it was like pack it forward, Carl, and then last second I was like, dude, even though I didn't like what was going on at Ararat, how they were combining two rivalries, but I was like, dude, I can't turn my back on Ararat. You know, that's my foundation, and there's no way. So when I went that way, they're like, dude, you guys want to make a team, but you guys don't even play together. That was one of their excuses.
Yeah.
So and then Mike's team won, and then that's when everything went on hold. Everything went on hold, and then in 15. When then the kids made like a run, that's when like everything picked up. They're like, no, we're gonna go with them. So they kind of did in a way where they have involvement. You know, the bottom line that we were all Americans from here. Yeah, it didn't sit right with them. You know,
I mean, you're a part of this unique club now where I don't think besides you and two other guys haven't done this. You won an Armenian gold medal. Pan-Armenian gold medal. You've played in college, and you have a Novosaryan championship.
Yeah.
Mike and Dre, only other two guys that have done that. Give us some of your stories playing with and against Mike and Dre.
Man, Mike was tough. He kept coming. It's like, dude, relax. He kept coming. Like, bro,
Is he is he the best player you've ever seen
in Armenian basketball?
Yeah. Or who do you put up there?
I gotta go him, Dre. These guys are all Z
at their primes. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen really Zareh, but I've heard a lot. You got to put him up there. But yeah, man, Mike was up there, man. Mike is he's won with teams that he shouldn't even be competing with. You know, two times he won with a team that was just him. That one year he had help, and that was an easy win. But man, Mike was tough, bro. We would go work out together. We would run on Runyon and then go to Grant and shoot. And I'll be like, bro, like, when are we done? You know, like, let's wrap this up. Let's go eat. He's like, we're only halfway there. I'm like, bro, stop. Like, he was a hard worker, but it was fun going at it. You know, it was fun. Everyone thought we didn't like each other and stuff, but we were boys, you know, and that made it better. But he's just like me. He steps on the court. There's no friendship there, bro. You're coming to win.
Did he kind of take it the wrong way when he wasn't starting on that team, the 16
Well, he got
team?
hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt. He pulled his hamstring. Oh. So he was kind of like iffy, you know, like he was coming. But no, he didn't take it the wrong way. It's just he was frustrated, obviously, the role he had. But he got hurt, and then we had Dre up and coming. So they kind of played the same style. So it was like take or give, you know, who you're going to go with. And him getting hurt made the coach's decision, I think, a lot easier because he came in as one of the guys that's going to put up buckets, you know. Him, Dre were going to put up the buckets. I was going to be the all-around, and then Dunstan was going to clean up everything.
So were you okay with that new role you got? It was more just defense, rebounding.
I was out of shape, so I had no choice. I had to accept the role, you know. You can't go out of shape and be like, I want to be the guy, you know.
But you've been playing as the guy all these years.
Yeah, and it was almost at like the dying ends of it, you know, I wasn't playing every day. I was working, like. I went in there, and that 35 days we trained was the 35 days I trained to play that tournament.
Yeah,
you know, that's what it that's what it was. You know, so
I mean, I thought you fit into your role like really well.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen you play like that because obviously with A1, you've always had to be the first or second option at all times.
Yeah.
So, what were your feelings after winning that?
That reminded me of my Dominguez days.
Yeah,
my Dominguez days, we were stacked. We had like 6-7 guys that could start any given day.
Yeah.
So Dominguez kind of helped me. I was an all-around guy for our Dominguez. You know, I'll call the sets. I did all that stuff. I was the captain at Dominguez too, and that was 4 or 5 years before even going to Armenia. So I had that experience at Dominguez, and then I matured through the years. So when we got there, it was easy.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. So Pan-Armenian Games, you know, it's something that I know you've kind of been very frustrated with. It was one of the last things that you always told us, you know, you got to check that box. Give us kind of a run back of the previous years. We know you guys struggled in 07, 11, 15.
Yeah.
You guys played really good teams. It's not like you were losing to bad teams. What were those games like against Sochi, Moscow?
07, Sochi had this one guy that was just a monster.
Beast, yeah.
Like no one was winning that tournament. I don't care who came in. This guy was like a 6-figure pro at that time, you know?
Wow.
And back then guys wouldn't really get paid like that in Europe. And this guy was top notch. So I had something in his contract with his agent that was Armenian that got him to play in that tournament. But the other ones, 11 and 15, man, we just beat ourselves. We just killed ourselves. And the worst thing was 11 sitting there watching Mike's team win when I was supposed to be on that team. I'm like, dude, we didn't even make the finals. Because one of the things was Ararat kept mixing up A1, A2. I mean, let's get it real. We were boys, obviously, but I think before we went on 15, we beat them in the finals or something.
Yeah, right.
Like right before we left, we beat each other up. We ate each other up. We competed. And then we turn around and we're like, hey, we're going to be a team. There was differences.
So there was kind of like bad blood behind
it. Wasn't bad blood. It was just chemistry. It was like comfort level. I rather like drive and kick it to the guy that I know that in the last 5 years has been there in that spot.
I feel you.
You know, it was just more like we don't have time to waste. You know, it's a 2-week tournament. It's not a season where, you know, we'll get better
Figure
as
it
the
out,
season
yeah.
goes. It's you get in there, you play, you get out. In and out. It's an in and out tournament.
That 11 team, you guys had a stat team, but you guys were really young, man. You were 22. The Shards were starters, 21. Both of them. Narbel was 20 years old. You guys were young.
We were young, man.
Yeah.
We had it, bro. We had that game against Sochi. That was one of the toughest losses. We
Yeah,
had
went
the
into
game.
OT.
Yeah.
Got OT, Narb fouled out.
Yeah.
And then their main guy, he was shutting that guy up the whole game, and that guy killed us in OT. But we were up 9. We let their best shooters, they fell asleep. That's the difference between that A1 mentality. Like, there was guys on that bench, like Martin Ovanesian, that could have got that 3 stops we needed,
Yeah.
you know? So that was the frustrating part, that you knew there was guys on the bench that could have came through, but the fact that there's a younger generation, which I get, and bring guys together and build something, that actually ended up backfiring us.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't there in 2015. I saw the game online against Moscow. That team was good too, but again, I feel like you guys ran into that same issue all over again. You know, I mean, you got guys on finishing a game that probably had never even been in a Novosaryan final, let alone a Pan-Armenian packed gym.
Yeah.
So
And those guys were vocal too, and they wouldn't play. It was very vocal.
Yeah.
You know, so it would get in the way. I mean, it's like, dude, like, you haven't done anything, but what are you trying to do with playing, man? We have
and like you said, man, it's a short
I
tournament.
waited 4 years for this. You're not
Yeah.
going to come just jack this up, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what was happening. That was the frustration.
So 2019, obviously, you finally, you're back for, you know, what you think. You even
Quarter
said
and a
it.
half. Back for a quarter and a half.
You're going into it. Obviously, you had some bad experiences. What was your outlook on it? Did you think that we had a chance to win?
Yeah, I mean, every time you have a guy fresh like Dre on the team, you're always competing in any tournament. But yeah, I mean, I knew we had a chance to win, and given the fact that we had a guy like him, I was like, yeah, maybe if we do mix, it'll be okay because he'll cover up the mistakes, you know,
Balance it.
But man, it worked out the way we all wanted it. I feel like your dad, coach, you know, he kind of got it. Like, you know, in the past, these guys have been doing this. You know, he kind of let us be us. Mm-hmm. You know, there was times in that practices where we all went at it, and it felt disrespectful, but it wasn't, man. It was nothing disrespectful towards anyone. It was just the fact that we have that there, and it's going to always be there, and it's going to shine. And that's all. That's the satisfaction. Is that, you know?
But coming to that point, you said it was A1, like the previous teams that have won. We kept hearing like it was A1 with role players, A1 core with role players, and I think he recognized that.
Yeah,
He recognized that you can't mix to that extreme.
Yeah,
you gotta kind of pick and choose who can fit in.
And then that A2 kind of drama of Manuel's team was not there anymore. You know, they were already at CPON.
Yeah.
So that
it
wasn't
guys
like
were
that.
like
Yeah.
me, Azad.
Yeah, there was guys that have
yeah.
already played with us.
Exactly.
Like, you've played with us. Azad, like, well, that's one of the things I told his dad. I was like, dude, Azad's got to be on this team. Like 07, 11, 15. Like, he took a beating with us, you know? Like, I want to win with that guy there, you know?
Azad didn't want to go originally.
Yeah, he didn't want to go. I'm like, dude, you got to come. Like, Oz, you got to come. Like, you went through all this, you know?
Yeah.
Azad, like, knew how we play because Azad was on our team. One of the reasons Azad kind of left was because when I joined, he was going to kind of take Greg's role. And then when I joined, Z slipped to the 5.
Yeah.
Slipped to the 5, kind of killed his minutes. Mm-hmm. So it was nothing like bitter for him leaving. It was like, I just want to play, boys, you know? It's cool.
Yeah.
That final against Beverly Hills.
Man, I wish
You know,
I played that.
You got robbed.
You get
bro.
ejected.
You got robbed, man.
I think most people don't really know what happened. So you get a intentional foul, or you got a technical,
I got the technical.
to start.
I got the technical because Teo missed the layup.
So you get the T.
Teo makes the layup, I don't say anything.
Exactly.
He missed the layup, I
God
turned around, I was like,
damn it,
foul. I didn't say anything. I just said foul. But because everyone was chipping, my first word was a technical. I was like, damn.
Too early, though, from a ref to give it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll talk about that in just a sec. But then you get the intentional foul, which in FIBA rules is
a technical. Yeah.
You walk out of that game right before the half. What were you thinking?
Man.
I'm going into the
Dude, I was
locker room.
like, dude, I'm like, 4 years I waited for this, bro. finally have the team.
And you were playing great.
We were
to start
playing
the
great.
game.
We were locking them up.
Yeah.
We were matching up perfect with their two bigs. We were up double digits, I think, 11 or something. But that's our fault, the team's fault, my fault for not knowing the rules. I mean, I didn't. That's all we do over here. Like the guy goes on a break, we just stop the guy. Smart basketball. But over there, I guess it's a new thing because we learned from them. To stop people on the break.
I mean, they still do that.
They do it, but they kind of go for the ball. But mine is the thing is, I should have never dribbled that ball. Bro, the first thing that you lose in basketball as you get older and you start working out is dribbling.
Yeah,
your handles just go. So every time I dribble, Dre goes, no, it's coming, it's coming. So whenever I intentionally fell the guy and Dre goes, you should have never dribbled. I was like, you're right.
I remember that.
You're right. He's like, you should have never dribbled the ball, bro. You would have never been in that position. But man, it was tough, man. I walked out. I'm like, we got it, you know. And then when you guys came to the locker room, like I think we were down.
Yeah, they kind of flipped it.
Yeah, it was like 5 minutes to go, and then once I got out, they went on the nasty run. I was sitting there going, no way. I'm like, I gotta find a way to be a part of this game.
Yeah.
So I just came and sat right behind the bench. And before that,
no, not behind the bench. You're in the crowd, going crazy.
But before all that, while you guys were playing, I was fighting outside. I was fighting with like the committee, like, how do you guys do this? Like going off on people. And then the guy that gave me the technical that ejected me, I went at it with his brother. Brother came down.
I remember.
So then I was like third quarter. I'm like, you know what? I'm just forget it. There's no point. I'm not getting back in this game. I went to the back and I was like, got to cheer my boys on, and man, what a comeback, man!
It's crazy game.
They didn't, man. That zone, I think, damn, man, they didn't hit a shot. We caught breaks too, but they hit 1-3. You know,
I mean, you got to get a little lucky to win a championship here and there.
Of course, and then I think Tehran got them tired.
Yeah,
Tehran they had no legs, and
beat
then,
them up.
Sam hit shot.
Great,
Everyone stepped up, man. That's what. There's a picture of like me throwing Z down, but that's like, bro, that was real emotions, man. That was like a relief, even though I didn't play and I didn't make a difference in that second half or anything, but bro, that was my boys, man. We battled for 3 months. We went at it, man. It was fun.
I mean, in a lot of ways, I think when you got ejected, it really made a lot of the other guys pick up their mindset. Like, okay, you know what? He's not playing. We got to move on.
We got to move on.
You know what I mean?
It took us a minute. It took us about 30 minutes with the 5-minute game and then the 10-minute halftime.
Yeah.
I think that was good for us. Good. It's a good thing it didn't happen in the second half.
Yeah.
Because then we would have ran out of time. But the fact that we had a whole half to sit there, and I remember Coach came in. He's like, he said his thing. He walked down. We were like, oh, there's some stairs.
Yeah.
I'm like, boys, don't lose this from me. And it's like, we got you. I was like, all right, I'm comfortable now.
I remember, man.
It was tough, man. Like right when you went, they had to play young Dion, and I don't think Dion he was gonna play that game. Like he was.
Ozat had a big offensive rebound.
Well, Ozat was hurt. He was hurt, right? He had the calf injury.
He did something with that ice thing. He did that Persian medicine or something.
He said he put hot water under it and he burned it.
Yeah, that's another story. 2023, man. You thinking about it at all?
Yeah, for sure. I gotta find a way, but we're going. We gotta go and
going back.
That's kind of been my mentality. I've been telling Z and the guys, like, I'm down to stop, but you gotta beat us. You gotta beat us. You gotta get rid of us. You know, like I gotta go knowing that there's no chance we're gonna beat these guys, man. These guys are already better than us. They've passed us, but until that happens, man, I think that's the reason why Z's still going. But yeah, man, 2023, we're gonna have to tighten up. Obviously, get a lot serious. I don't know what the role will be, but I'll definitely be there, man. If they pick me, I'll be there.
Look, I think from a friend to friend, man, I want to see you playing. You know, like
of
Big
course.
Z, I think has shown like this guy day and night. He's thinking about that.
He
stuff.
loves it.
He loves that.
He loves it.
Current status for you playing. Where are you at? Has your love of the game kind of diminished at all with COVID and the competition level, all of that kind of combined?
Yeah, COVID and competition too, man. Competition's been really sad, man. I don't know what's going on, but guys I don't get it. They just want to.
It's a lot of younger teams?
I think it's younger, and I think they're all just worried about shooting. Yeah. They're all worried about, like, they don't think about the mental part of the game of beating teams. Like they come and they think they gotta outshoot us. Like that's the worst thing. Like you gotta come and actually fight, hit, scramble, press, do all this stuff. But people don't do that. I mean, the competition is. Back then there was always 5-6 teams in the hunt. Now it's like us, and then hopefully someone shows up once a year and makes a team. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, but the problem is no one has the size to keep up with you guys. Yeah, it's a mental aspect, but no one has.
I mean, that Mossies 2 team had a chance, but
yeah,
I don't know what happened. I mean, after they won the championship, and they haven't even won a playoff game after that or in any tournament. I don't know. Are they going to come back? I hope they come back. That's kind of something you look forward to, you know? Like, these
you
guys
want
are
to play
putting a
against
team.
Yeah,
you want to play guys, especially after they beat you.
Yeah.
You want to get another shot at that. So, I mean, it's easy to come and win one tournament and leave.
Yeah.
You know?
That team is like on the brink of getting relegated, which is kind of like a joke.
Yeah. But
I don't know. Obviously, this shootout that's going on and the postponement and all that. We're hoping this episode gets up before the last weekend, but take me through this shootout. Was it going through kind of the way you were expecting, and is that a good sign or a bad sign for the next few tournaments?
Yeah, I from the get-go, I didn't want to do it. I didn't think it would finish out, and that's what happened. And then they kind of threw it at us. Like now, especially with me, with the kid, we have plans. Like we're committed. Of course, you tell me there's a tournament ahead of time. I'm not booking anything, you know. But a lot of people had plans. You were going to games, and some guys weren't there, like because they have plans, and it was just a hit and miss. But I mean, I had put everything together and was locked up for the 3 games we had that weekend. But I mean, I hope, man. I hope we can get back into it, man. It sucks because as the years go, you don't get too many of them, man. And now that I'm at 32, the end is right there. It's like, dude, I want to play every time I get a chance as far as tournament wise. And hopefully, man, this COVID situation will be done soon and everyone will be normal and we'll go back to our lives. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope we come up with a plan. I mean, Sudan's tournament ran great.
Yeah.
He ran it great. So maybe they can learn from that or take something from that. But
AABA did a great job.
I mean, they weren't really on people on not wearing it. So like there was no like certain guidelines. So if you want to keep doing something until everything's done, I think guys should get tested and all that good stuff. And you keep a tournament going. I mean, it's pointless playing group games and I'm sure everyone's
playing in the playoffs.
Everyone's frustrated.
Yeah,
but
I still think it's ridiculous they canceled this last weekend.
Yeah. I heard there was a lot of cases, but we'll see. I'm sure there was cases the week before, bro.
Yeah.
But no one was reporting.
Yeah, just say like no fans, just players only, and get tested before you come. It's kind of that simple.
We could do it. I'm down. If that's what it takes to get a tournament going, I'm in.
All right, man. Let's start wrapping this up. I just want to kind of get your kind of final thoughts, what you kind of see happening in the next few years for yourself. I'm gonna leave it to you, man. What you got going?
Man, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I haven't really thought about the end because you never want to think about it as you're playing. But I don't know, man. Let's see. Let's see if my daughter's into it. I mean, she's almost 2, so let's see if she's into it. That'll keep me more into it. Like making sure she comes and watches me play. But like I said, man, it's the competitive. You know, if it gets competitive and you actually go to a game knowing there's a chance you're gonna lose. Get that rush, get that nervous feeling, then we'll keep going. But we'll be alive until 2023. So after that Armenia, then we'll make that decision, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right, man. We're going to wrap it up here,
Appreciate
Z.
You guys, man.
Once again,
thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming
Good luck on everything on the show. You guys are doing great. Keep it going, man. Everyone's watching. You know, it's something that Home MN needs as well. Keep the Armenian basketball going. You know, we had that in the HMM scoop, and it was kind of good, but it died off because everyone started going at each other's neck. But stuff like this is up and coming, and you know, social media has helped a lot, advancing Home MN, and you guys are doing a great job.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Once again, Little Z, Zareh Zargaryan.
Thank you.
Hope you guys tune in, watch this when it comes out. So, once again, from me and Pat, thank you guys for watching Off the Court. Peace.